A warm welcome to one and all. This is Vishali and you are watching a Power Electronics and Application series. This is the fifth video of the third series in which we are learning different types of rectifiers. So in our previous video we have seen three-phase full converters with resistive as well as inductive load. In this session we are going to study three-phase semi-converters. So let's start. This is a three-phase semi-converter symmetrical configuration. It contains three thyristors in three arms. So here you can see T1, T3 and T5. These are three thyristors in this configuration. And it contains three diodes in other three arms. So D4, D6 and D2, these are three diodes. So basically, like full converter, it is also a combination of three thyristors and three diodes. In this case, asymmetrical configuration is not used as it induces imbalance in line currents on the AC side. So this circuit looks like a three-phase half-wave diode circuit in series with three-phase half-wave phase control thyristor circuit. It performs one quadrant operation and it is used in the industrial applications up to 120 kilowatt level. So this three-phase semi-converter has an inherent freewheeling action which improves its power factor. The freewheeling action takes place between two devices, SCR and diode in the same arm, that is in between T1 and D4, T3 and D6, T5 and D2. With this freewheeling action, the voltage drops across VTH plus VD, that is a thyristor voltage plus diode voltage, and it becomes approximately 2 volt. This voltage drop reduces the average output voltage. During this freewheeling period, the conduction losses increases, which decrease the efficiency of this three-phase semi-converter. This also makes a load current less continuous for the same operating conditions. The SCR continues to conduct in the negative half cycle of a line voltage. Hence, the conduction period of SCR is 180 degree or pi. This increases the average and RMS current ratings of the SCR. So to overcome all these drawbacks, the external freewheeling diode across the load is used. Here it is shown, that is a DF. So this DF reduces on-stage voltage drop across the load and conduction losses. It makes a load current more continuous and it guarantees the communication of each SCR, thus average and RMS current rating decreases. It also decreases the cost and cooling requirements of a converter. So in this session we are going to study three-phase half controlled, that is a semi-converter with a resistive load. So let's have a look. So in these waveforms, the output voltage waveforms are shown for alpha is equal to 0 degree, 30 degree and 60 degree. Supply current waveforms are shown for alpha is equal to 0 degree and 90 degree. Then device current waveforms are shown for alpha is equal to 90 degree. For alpha is equal to 0, the output waveform is a 6 pulse output. For alpha is greater than or equal to 30 degree, the output is only 3 pulse. So it is called as 3 pulse converter. The output voltage waveforms goes to 0 after every pulse for a alpha is equal to 60 degree. For alpha is greater than 60 degree, it remains 0 for finite time. So it is discontinuous. The pulse width for alpha is less than 60 is 120 degree, whereas for alpha is greater than 60 degree is 180 minus alpha. The three-phase current waveforms are of 120 degree width in each half cycle for alpha is less than 60 degree. For any alpha greater than 60 degree, the pulse width in each half cycle start decreasing and is given by 180 minus alpha. The SCR and diode current waveforms are also 120 degree wide in each cycle for alpha is less than 60 degree and its duration is 180 minus alpha for alpha is greater than 60 degree. To understand the operation of this three-phase semi-converter, we need this voltage waveform along with the phasor diagram. By observing these two diagrams, we can say that the diode starts conducting as soon as they are forward biased. The line voltages conducts in the sequence EAB, EAC, EBC, EBA, ECA and ECB. A line voltage which has a highest value compared to other will conduct when it makes an angle 60 degree with the neutral. The devices which conduct during the each line voltages are shown in this table. So, when the D6 and T1, the diode 6 and thyristor 1 is conducting, that time the conducting line voltage will be EAB. When T1 and D2 are conducting, the corresponding conducting line voltage will be EC and so on. So, during the period when these conducting pairs are in the conduction mode, that time the output voltage will be given over here. The line voltage is alpha plus 60 degree with the neutral. The phase voltage is 30 degree with the neutral. There are 6 devices. Each device is forward biased when its phase voltage is 30 degree with the neutral. Since the SCR conducts only when the triggered and the diode conducts as soon as it is a forward biased with the phasor. So T1, T3 and T5 are triggered, that time EAB, BC and CA starts conducting. And when the diodes D2, D4 and D6 are forward biased, that time EAC, BA and CB starts conducting. So only one line phasor can conduct at a time. When the next phasor comes into a conduction, it commutates previous conducting phasor. If new diode conducts, it commutates the previously conducting diode. If new SCR starts conducting, it commutates the previously conducting SCR. What does that mean? It is nothing but the outgoing device is commutated by the incoming device. So to study the instant at which each phasor starts conducting, the incoming and outgoing devices, the pair of conduction and conduction period of each pair is given with the tabular representation in the next slide. For that, the reference point is omega t is equal to 0 in phase with the A phase. So this is a tabular representation of incoming, outgoing and conducting devices. So the first column is a triggering instant. The second column indicates the incoming devices. The third column is outgoing devices. This represents the conducting pairs and the phasors. The conducting period of each pair is represented by this column, and the conducting period of outgoing devices is shown in the last column. So from this table we can observe that the phasor EAC, the phasor EBA and ECB starts conducting at omega t is equal to 90 degree, 210 degree and 330 degree. Whereas the phasor EAB, BC and CA starts conducting at omega t is equal to 30 plus alpha, 150 plus alpha and 270 plus alpha respectively. So each device conducts for 120 degree. The phasor EAB, BC and CA conducts for 60 minus alpha, whereas phasor AC, BA and CB conducts for 60 plus alpha. So the total conduction period of EAB plus AC, BC plus BA and CA plus CB is 120 degree. So for alpha is equal to 0 degree, all phasors conduct for the 60 degree. EAB, BC and CA conducts for the period less than 60 degree, whereas EAC, BA and CB conducts for the period greater than 60 degree. In case of alpha is equal to 60 degree, EAB, BC and CA conducts for 0 degree, but EAC, BA and CB conducts for 120 degree. For alpha greater than 60 degree, EAB, BC and CA are unable to conduct, but EAC, BA and CB conducts for less than 120 degree. And for value of alpha is equal to 180 degree, no phasor can conduct and the output voltage is 0. So this is about the 3-phase semi-converter with the resistive load. In our next video, we are going to see RMS voltage as well as output voltage for the 3-phase semi-converter with the resistive load, and along with that we will see 3-phase semiconductor with the inductive load. So till then, thank you, stay home, stay safe and happy e-learning.